No. It's my birthday. How about that?
Yeah, it's
No.
Amadora's
See,
birthday,
I don't
big
have it like
bro.
that.
What's
I'm tricking
going
some
on?
people.
It's my birthday.
Her birthday's
What are
on
you doing?
Friday. It's on Saturday and it's on Sunday. So what are we doing?
So,
I'm gonna go smoke and celebrate by myself.
yeah, because you ain't shit. That's why.
You're gonna celebrate with your friends. I'm gonna send you a voice note. I'm gonna say happy birthday, Amadora, and I'm
No,
gonna
you're
take a
not,
shot,
because you ain't shit.
and then I'm gonna throw like the bottle. I'm gonna tap it on the screen for you too, so you can hear the sound effect.
You-
Christina, you are a fake woman.
I have been at the birth of 23 and 24 weekers. I know what their course looks like in NICU. Um, I know the circumstances that lead to preterm births. Um, to say that you're taking your information from a headline
No,
that 20 or 21 weeks is the limit of viability
the point about
is just uninformed. You won't interrupt me.
no, the point is
It's just
air
you
for
won't
you.
Hold on,
interrupt me.
Jack. Hold on, Jack.
Is just uninformed and again doing what Jeff said, which is sensationalizing the issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so the point is, if just like in any issue, if a building is on fire and you're not sure if anybody's in there, you want to err on the side of maybe there should be, or if you're trying to,
I mean that.
well,
I'm sorry, Jack. That doesn't even pass like logical
no, if
buffer.
you're trying to
Like, you find a better example because that was quite awful.
if you're imploding a building or destroying a building, you want to err on the side of just being sure no human is there. So if it is true, and it is true that babies have lived at 21 weeks gestation, then the government, and I don't even know if it's a moral thing. I think that we should want a government that, because governments are kind of have a extremely bad history with dehumanizing populations, even perfectly. Uh,
Yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop it here because this is not the debate I want to have. Um, like like uh, at the end of the day, you have to draw a line somewhere, and uh, and there will be no response to this. You could leave if you don't like it. You have to draw the line somewhere, and I venture to guess in the context of war, you understand that some lives, innocent lives, are lost in the context of war because it's for the greater good, and it's the same thing with drawing that line. If you want to protect, at 21 weeks, because once some kid survived after being in the hospital for 6 months at 21 weeks, I mean that's your choice, but you're also depriving people of their rights between 21 and 24 weeks.
well, but that's
Um,
the plan. So
no, Jack, with respect, you're not capable of having a conversation at the level we're having. I'm not looking to have a sensationalized conversation about, you know, uh, dissecting babies or
He
like
left.
obligations. I know. I just wanted to keep going on my high horse.
And I want to apologize because I agree. I don't like that. And even when I argue for pro life, I don't generally do that. And I shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry.
You're
You're
passionate, Shirley. I think I'm
you're
passionate too,
fine,
and that's
Shirley.
why I give equally
I'm going to tell you
graphic
in the
things. The
favor
other side.
on the favor side of abortion, the part that does offend me about um, sometimes babies are born because they early because the body says this is not okay. And I don't think it's okay to be drugged through the neonatal station, um, emotionally, physically, because nature said this is not viable. And sometimes that happens to people. Then the problem is people have no common sense, and and that's all we can put it at.
All right. Well, okay. Back to like the original question again. Like I think we did get into like appeal to passion or emotion fallacies here. Like I'm just simply trying to find out or discover what is the thrust, the philosophical thrust, because that's what
Yeah,
I find.
sir, I explained it to you. It legitimately is the belief that um, that babies, that is, or not babies, but pre-birth, um, there there are or should be rights reserved for the life of a baby to be born.
So you're saying it's like there is but you would readily admit then that it is. in some way informed by a Christian ethics, right? That there is some
It could
Christian.
literally be informed by staring at the
Well,
stars. It doesn't
sure,
make any
sure.
legal
But
difference.
for practical sake, this is a
No, no,
majority
no, no,
Christian
no, sir.
country.
There's no sake. It makes no legal difference what it's informed by. It's
Well,
people's closely held opinion that life begins at birth
correct,
or life
correct,
begins at viability. Like
right. And
I personally look, I'm Jewish. I know what my laws, but what my thing, I think life begins at viability. That's what my logic,
Mhm.
like my relationship with the universe, my understanding of biology says. Like if the baby can be born and be viable, I believe that when it's born, it is life. And before it's born, it probably should be protected.
Sure.
So I'm not Christian. That's the conclusion I've come to. And frankly, it's insulting to hear, oh, it's only informed by Christianity. And it's a stupid argument because we have the right to be informed by whatever we want to be informed by in this country.
I mean, it's not a stupid argument. Look outside of the Bible Belt. That actually isn't a popular position. So
Um,
it really
no, it's still a stupid argument, sir. Like
I mean, if
it has absolutely no bearing. Like
outside
everyone
of the
has a
Bible
right.
Belt,
You have a right to make decisions on votes on whatever based on your religion. That's an absolute right we have
right,
as citizens of
right,
America. So it's a stupid
right.
point because it doesn't invalidate the position at all.
As
Christianity
citizens of
though has
America,
informed it, right?
but congressionally, it's problematic.
Right.
Congressionally, what?
Congre- as citizens, yes, but congressionally, it's problematic when they're trying
Congress
to
people?
impose their
No,
beliefs on
Congress
everyone.
people have every right to vote according to their moral understandings, which includes Christianity and Judaism. It's just incorrect to say that you can't be informed by your religious belief as an elected official.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying passing laws based on those religions, though, is problematic,
Absolutely not.
Right.
You can pass. I mean, how many states still have blue laws?
and that's
Like it is
problematic too.
absolutely constitutional for Congress, as
What is the
represented
whole
by the
thing
people
about
elected,
Congress
to
shall not
to pass a
establish
law
the
that is in
Christian?
line with the Constitution, but is informed by their Christian upbringing.
Blue
Absolutely
laws are dark
constitutional.
gray. They're not, they're very problematic blue laws, saying that you can't. So the way they code it here in Texas, for example, is that you can't buy cars on one day a week, and that day of the week has to be a Sunday, by the way. So they kind of doubly like code it, and or you can't buy alcohol on a Sunday in the
Yeah,
state
and
of
yet
Texas.
those laws have been constitutional for hundreds of years.
But I think,
Like
Jeff, go
like
back. Our Constitution is at minimum theistic, right? And perhaps Christian monotheistic in its values and the founders, right?
Right. It's de facto. Like, look, it may not officially be that the government has declared some state religion. That's definitely not allowed. But if a preponderance of legislation is informed by what most honest people would consider Christian ethics, then de facto you are being put under
yeah, except that the First
Christian
Amendment
legislation, Jeff. It's de
does not
facto.
place the First Amendment doesn't place that limit on either the citizens or the elected officials. You're
Well,
inventing a
right,
right that doesn't
right.
exist.
But
No,
it
no,
is,
that's why
again,
it's
not
stupid. This is
it's not
not a
an
right that
infallible
exists.
document.
You're fundamentally misunderstanding the First Amendment.
I will take my instructions from a constitutional scholar and not a clubhouse scholar.
That's fine.
As far as that's concerned, most religion, all religions have a 10 commandments. They all have ethics. And I don't understand why we want to even think we would want to live in a country or have a world that didn't have some type of ethics, because you can just do whatever you damn want to do if there's no ethical, if you have no ethical guidelines. It's and
Surely it doesn't
all religions
require,
have them.
Yeah,
but
but
it doesn't
surely
require religion to have
that's a
ethics,
horrible argument that nobody would have ethics outside of religion, which is just
right?
false.
No, no,
That's
no.
the
What,
that's the
this
problem
is the
with
argument she's making, sir. But by inventing the right you're inventing, the logical conclusion is that since the Ten Commandments are informed clearly by religion, that any law restricting murder would be prohibited.
but people could have come to that
Yeah,
conclusion outside of the religion.
And people do come to the conclusion that life starts at viability outside of religion, like me.
But if I stone you for collecting
Mm,
sticks on the Sabbath,
No, no,
you
no.
know, that'd be
Hold on,
problematic.
Matt. Let's stick with Sir's
yeah, I'm
inconsistency
not
right
buying
now.
that. I'm not buying that, Jeff. Sorry.
What are you not buying?
Look, you may think yourself exceptional and that you grew up in this country and that you were not at any point ever influenced by Christian dogma or influence, but I'm going to push back and say that's full of shit.
So then why aren't you pushing back and saying murder is influenced by Christian dogma?
Because there have been laws, even in Hammurabi's code, that existed way before Christianity, way before anything really, and that codified murder being illegal.
And there were laws well before Christianity that codified that abortion had limits. What's your point?
Show me, where is that?
The
I think
Talmud?
that I just said that.
The
Most
Talmud
ethical
came way later, dude.
communities,
No,
religious
it
or
didn't.
not,
The
have
Talmud was
moral
in the year
guidelines.
100, long before Christianity, but yes, slightly after Jesus.
Yeah,
And
well,
by the way, the Talmud only codified the pre-existing laws that existed in the oral Torah.
sure, but if you can't produce any like archaeological or some extant evidence that like I guess you pre-Christian Jews had some document or something declaring that there were limits on abortion or something. I mean, it's kind of, I mean, you're not proving anything.
That's fine. You also can't produce anything that says that there's a freedom from religion in government. That
Um,
somehow it's illegitimate to pass laws based on beliefs. It's a ridiculous thing. You can apply it to almost any law and show that it's patently false.
That I don't think that's the argument that was attempted to be made. What I heard is just that in this country, much of our legal structure and law, individual laws and influence is Christian. I mean, that's what I heard. I don't think
I
I
mean, that's
heard
fine.
that. I don't
Judicial
think I heard that
values.
you can only make laws based on. I don't think that's what he was saying. I
Take
think
for
there's a
example how Christians of the early colonial period justified slavery. They used Christian teachings to justify it. This isn't this is pretty out there, Jeff.
Not really.
You think that slave practitioners didn't use Christianity to justify
That's a red
slavery?
herring. It has nothing to do with the argument.
Any
Because ultimately,
any
like the argument the pro-lifers make, right? And I don't agree with it, of course. The reason slavery was undone wasn't because they invalidated the right for people to be Christian and to vote accordingly. It was because they recognized a crazy right that no one had ever thought of before, that black people have inalienable rights, just like fetuses. That's the right-wing position. And that's a consistent position. Yours is very arbitrary, and it's being exposed as such right now.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Jeff. I'll disagree.
That's fine.
I'm trying to remember where it says it. I'm looking it up in the Mishnah Torah. But Maimonides says that someone that says, if only God had not instructed me not to murder, I'd probably be a murderer, that person is considered to be wicked. But if they said, if God had only told me, you know, not to keep kosher and I to keep kosher and I didn't know that and I didn't keep kosher, that person's fine. Like there's certain things that make sense ethically already without being told, like don't murder, don't steal, and then
Right.
keep kosher, keep Sabbath are things that aren't like inherent in people. That's the bigger deal. Like you shouldn't have ever wanted to murder, you shouldn't have ever wanted to steal, but the other
Yeah, well,
laws just need to be told.
so then by the same fine, you want to invalidate murder as something everyone should figure out on their own, fine. But then people with the idea that there is somehow a right to keep Christian thought out of our policies should invalidate food stamps because Christianity advocates feeding the poor. Like this is just not a right that exists. And not, any other conversation we want to have, we're ignoring the fact that there is no right. There is no protection of the government from religion. It's the opposite.
I
I
mean,
think
the
you've now
First
reached
Amendment.
the point where
Oh,
you both are saying the same thing.
No, we're saying complete
Laws and
opposite.
government.
I'm sticking to there is no such right and there is no
But I don't
such
think anybody was
protection.
asserting that there was. I think you heard
No,
that,
no,
but I don't
no,
think anybody was
absolutely. Both
asserting.
Matt and Sir were asserting that that you cannot use religion as the basis for why you vote to pass a law.
and also, Erica, it swings both ways. The First Amendment. There's the establishment and there's the free exercise, which both kind of say the opposite thing.
Yes, and the free exercise allows elected officials to vote their conscience, which may be informed by their Christian or Jewish upbringing. There is
That's
not a
more.
third clause that
more
protects the government in any way from Christian thought.
no, meaning like the First Amendment's basically saying with free exercise is that without government interference, I can practice my religion however my religion tells me.
Yes, and saying that you can't pass a law based on your Christian ethos or your Jewish ethos would be government interference of your free exercise of religion. Now, that being said, there are limits. You can't mandate that that schools force people to pray in the morning. We've already seen that there's a limit there, right? Because there you have the imposition of other people's free exercise of religion being undone by the excessively broad and essentially the excessive force of government to use religion as the basis of a law.
So I was
There are
looking
limits.
at the Supreme Court talking about the blue laws says that there's the burden of proof on the legislators to show that any given blue law it has to be proven. They have to say exactly how there's a secular purpose for it, that there's nothing a religious basis on it. Like why
I mean, that's
just
fine. You're
there has
grasping
to
at
be some rest.
straws. There's a secular purpose for not, and again, I'm informed enough to know that 8 month abortions are incredibly rare and almost always just for the life of the mother. But there is a secular purpose for protecting a healthy 8 month gestation baby. Like, again, I don't know why you're arguing and grasping at these straws. None of them change the point.
So I've counseled women that are pregnant and no one that far, but like women have come to me and asked me about abortion and the anguish they're having, and it's a lot of it's based on their own. No one makes that decision lightly, especially that late in there's a reason for that basically, and there's
Yeah, I
also
don't think anyone
that
here is arguing with you on that.
it. Like they feel like what does Judaism say about this? Like they really want to have that as a consideration. No one just said
Yeah.
abortion today.
But the discussion here seems to be that somehow people voting for a limit is somehow wicked because maybe it comes from a Christian ethos. And I'm going to push back on that because it's not remotely true or prohibited. It's basically a fake argument.
I don't know. I think a lot of people do it from their Christian background and decide when
And
that.
that's completely permitted in this country, Matt. You should run for office and vote based on your Jewish background.
Well, they shouldn't be imposing it on my uterus.
Well, your uterus will deal with whatever it has to deal with.
I'm just thinking
I don't know.
How's your
from
uterus
Monty
healing today,
Python.
If I
Matt?
had a woman coming to me and she was struggling over this emotionally, I'd probably lean towards you need to honor your conscience and do what you think is right. And it doesn't matter what I think because you're going to be the one who lives with the consequences of your decision. And if you think that baby's alive and shouldn't be aborted, you probably ought to honor your conscience. That's I'm not making I that's why I don't like being graphic or ugly. I was in a Sunday school class one time where this we had a counseling for people that were struggling with the consequences of their abortion. A woman in the room said, "I just could not be civil to a person who had abortion." And I looked at her and said, with the statistics that we have on abortion, probably somebody in this room has had one. You need to get a grip and be the Christian you're supposed to be, which is to love people and have compassion. Okay, I got a little emphatic there.
It's something we're passionate about.
I've never had an abortion either. Yeah, I'm going to argue against someone twisting the nature of our Bill of Rights because it will have implications you wouldn't want.
That's the whole existence of the Supreme Court since Marbury versus Madison.
Hmm. Exactly.
Which itself gives itself the right to interpret the Constitution, which the Constitution does not give it the right to do.
That is true. But I guess we've kind of accepted that it does.
Yep. Fiat. By
Kind
the
of
way,
implied though. What was the purpose of the court otherwise?
to if there was like a big enough case that was high enough, like it involved either foreign governments between the states or high elected officials, they would be the final court of appeal. They were
Mm,
considered to be a trial court, though. I know that. Sorry, they were a trial court for those things. Otherwise, they were the court of highest appeal. That's it.
gotcha.
Although they realized there was a hole in the in the Constitution that they did need to fill. Someone needed to do it, and they decided it was them. Ironically, Marbury versus Madison was determined by the person that was most in charge. It was what's his name? Who was the Secretary of who was the Secretary of State under John Adams?
I don't know.
Oh, John Marshall. John Marshall was the Secretary of State under John Adams, who was told by Adams, go deliver these judgeships. The Senate signed off on it. It was 2 days before he was leaving office. Didn't get to most of these people, including a guy in Maryland named Marbury. And Marbury sued to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court basically said, "Yeah, we're not dealing with this because we don't have the authority to." That being said, we're giving ourselves the authority to deal with it. And by the way, the head of the Supreme Court at that time, John Marshall. He couldn't recuse himself though. There would have been only three justices, and they didn't have a quorum, so he had to, um, because I guess in order to he kind of refused to recuse himself, basically.
Serendipitous.
It's interesting when you're your own plaintiff. You're the judge and the prosecutor, the defendant, basically.
Hmm. Reminded me of something going on
So the
right
judge,
now with the ICC.
fucking hypocrites. I guess South Africa would know apartheid, though. Continuing to do it.
Rena, how's work?
Okay, so what's for supper, y'all?
Oh, Shirley, sorry. Thank you. Just a moment. Thank you for asking, Jeff. Work is very slow. I've been sitting here listening to you guys talk about abortion for about an hour.
Yeah, was boring.
So what's for supper?
Pickled
Supper?
fetus. I'm sorry, afterbirth.
Little hair of the dog that bit you.
Exactly. I don't know what's for dinner.
The only thing I've got going right now is carrots and roasted carrots and beets, and I got to figure out something to go with it.
I had mango for breakfast. That was good.
Just mango?
Mango and coffee.
You get enough protein, Matt?
There was creamer in my coffee.
That's protein.
Mango and coffee sounds like a cop show.
Hey, Marcy. How's it going?
I'm back. What did I miss?
Hi, Matt. Shana Tova.
Shouldn't
Shana.
Are you guys not arguing about Trump? How great he is?
We haven't been talking about him for like an hour and a half.
He's great. I love him.
That tracks.
We'll send him to Canada when we're done with him.
I would love for him to come to Canada. I would, like, honestly.
Yeah, Matt, literally zero protein in typical coffee creamer, like 0.0.
Yeah.
What's going on, Marcy? Been a while. We miss you.
That's sweet. Thank you. Clubhouse has been so hard to use. I haven't tried. Although I've been meeting with Katie and Celeste on the side like once a week to catch up.
Yeah, it's not so hard to use. You just got to get used to it.
I'm old and inflexible. And I love that Clubhouse threw him off the second he said it was easy to use.
Oh, Rena, did you hear the fucking parade that they're having in Toronto
No, what's happened?
for Lebanon? No, they're going.
Oh, well, Toronto is a hellhole.
This is wild. They'll support any terrorist group and they will allow them.
Yeah, well, because they let 50,000 terrorists into the country. I mean,
It's not a lot.
PTR what Rafi's having for lunch today.
like when they let in the Syrians, they didn't realize they were letting in Hezbollah and supporters, and they're letting people in from Gaza. They're just turning Canada into a hosting country for terrorists. I
Like
mean,
England.
mm-hmm.
Something with all these British,
Stupid liberals.
no, these British countries like that had like roots to it.
Yeah, because they have liberal governments. The UK was liberal,
Yes,
Canada is
but
liberal,
destroyed their own
Australia
country.
is liberal.
But they destroyed their own countries within.
No, I know. That's what we're saying the same thing. It's because they're destroying their own countries by being naive to what the Middle East is and who
I
the
don't
people
think
are there.
I don't think they're naive. Listen, if you're a politician,
They're
you're smart.
totally naive, Rafi. They
No,
have no idea.
no,
These people live in bubbles.
people that are voting for these politicians are naive. The people that are breaking
No, the
in,
politicians are also naive.
I think they have an agenda to do something with them. Just the people,
No, I don't think so.
because people aren't that bright.
So did you hear Germany yesterday decided not to vote in the Nazis?
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
The far right wing people were calling them Nazis.
Oh,
Did
alternative.
not in the election,
AFD,
despite the fact
Alternative
that they
for
had Highway
Deutschland.
ahead in the polls.
Yeah, but they're mostly popular in the East, though.
We should have kept that fucking wall.
Rafi, you're just saying that because you want Putin to control East Germany.
Kind of. Fucking there were no Nazis there. If Putin was there. Trust me.
Bro, East Germans are pretty fucking anti-Semitic.
Yeah, but you got a guy.
Also, terrible Olympic judges.
Yeah, I mean, I knew a guy.
Seen the last 4 years, it will just continue. We'll probably have a major war. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a full scale conflict with Iran, or if Russia just, they escalate. There's a lot of shit that can go wrong that will affect American lives, and our country's going the wrong way. So I'll just land there.
You think the advantage of lower class families in America with science and the discovery of worries the high middle class and also the I say what you want to be a average normal American citizen? You think the discovery of such science innovation from the lower class and the security of that, you think that worries the high class individuals of such that may I'll say affect your middle class living? Or You don't really think about that.
I
I
what we see
Yo.
is the wealth gap increasing, and and since the pandemic, it's increased much more so. I care more about. I want almost everybody to have at least the access to a middle class living. I want people who grow up, in a working poor family to be able to have the opportunity. If they work at it, they just do what they're supposed to do. They can live a comfortable middle class life. That is what I want. I want affordable homes. I I truly don't give. I mean, first of all, I think the wealthy have too much wealth. Honestly, I mean, it's starting to turn into a fiefdom. Like there's more and more people that are almost becoming permanent renters. They're like it's like a serfdom, and I don't like. I'm completely against that shit. Your home is where most people have most of their equity. And so I care about the mobility of the poor far more than I give a fuck about the wealthy. Like if the wealthy lose like half their wealth, I can truly give two fucks.
I can't believe how racist this man is. And if I had to
What?
close my eyes, wait a minute, and wait a second, sweetie. And if I had to close my eyes and hear how he's caping for poor people, I would think he was PhD. Huh.
Damn,
What,
y'all throw racist out there so loosely now. Like, you
you
sure he's
not, you
racist?
obviously,
You sure?
you obviously don't know what sarcasm is, sir.
No, he
Damn, nah,
don't. He
you a
need to mute
great.
up as
You
well.
got that over me, yo. That's crazy.
Cause I'm sitting here going, where is this? Much as this man just said he hates, dislikes the poor. I mean, dislikes the rich. Wants the poor people to have a fair shake. Everybody needs. Really, isn't that what PhD talks about every day?
He does, but those who know of Pepe know of his history and the things that he has said out of his mouth.
Okay, well then
So
I'll
I
be fair
I
there. I
I
don't know.
understand what you're saying, but maybe in that submission he didn't say anything racist, but
Okay.
we all
Like I
know
said,
of his
y'all know him. I
history.
don't. I'm just listening to what he said today.
I mean, if you want me
Okay,
to be
so just
racist,
keep listening. Just keep listening.
if
That's
you
all.
if
Okay,
you want
I
me to be
will.
racist, I would tell you like I do want.
You should play that famous Jewish song. What was it called? Uh,
The
it's
Shema.
a very I don't know, but I love this song.
Oh, you want to hear If I Were a Rich Man?
No, you're a middle class New Yorker. I'm assuming.
Oh, you want to hear? You want to hear? I know what you want to hear, but hold on. I'll play that for you in a second. Listen to this. This is Shema. This is how we're going to conquer the Hezbollah right now. Just listen closely. So I think you were talking about klezmer music. We're going to play that in just a minute. Ribono Shaloim Spinster Sam, welcome to Zavoom. We're
Hi.
listening to the Shema.
Yeah. Adrian, I put one in the chat.
Ribono Shaloim, just wait till Hashem is finished singing. Okay, Rabbi Shalom, Spinster Sam, welcome to the room. How are you today? Are you feeling happy?
I am, thank you. How are you, Adrian?
Oh, I know who this is.
Nice to meet you.
I know.
Adrian, I posted the same song in the chat, but this one.
Figure out how to find a middle, right? Like there's literally a lack of patriotism because I think that in a non-romantic, like in a country situation, I think patriotism is.
Shut up, Uncle Ruckus.
We at. I mean, we still got room for improvement. We probably always gonna have room for improvement, but uh, that case is definitely more true for us than it is for others. All right, others been getting that preferential treatment that they've been looking for. It seems as though we ain't been getting what we've been looking for. So, for all of y'all who thinking left and right, who still stuck in that binary, please, I encourage you to go look at the Jill Stein interview. She actually supports reparations, much like Mariam Williamson, and she not for the fuck shit going on in Gaza or the fuck shit going on in Ukraine.
All right. Real quick, anybody disagree? If not, we're gonna move on. And how are you doing? Well, let's go to Nichelle then the end. Nichelle, are you doing better under the first 4 years of Biden or the first 4 years of Trump? And explain why. You can talk about people your proximity to and how they're doing. And my bad, I'm at the beach. It's hella loud in the background. But yeah, if Nichelle ain't there, Ann can go. And then we'll go to new hands.
You asked me. I
I'm
would say
sorry, my
under
mic. I was trying to get my mic
essentially.
going. My
Oh,
bad,
sorry.
y'all. I'm gonna say this, yes, and I'm gonna say why. I just feel like at the
Wait,
end of
yes,
the day,
what? Yes, what?
I'm saying yes. I feel like when Trump was in office, the money was flowing. And you know, people was getting their little chooses and fuses. You feel me? He didn't stay the whole 8 years, but I think if he would have, I think definitely we wouldn't be in a position that we're in now, and I'm gonna stand on that. I think if we do vote for Trump, well, I voted for Trump. I don't give a shit what y'all say because I'm not no yes man, and I'm thinking financial. I'm not thinking in my feelings. So I think that Trump is for sure going to circulate that money. I don't give a goddamn how Trump made it, if he stole it, if he took it. I don't care what he did. That's not my business. That's not my problem. But guess what? If he got to circulate his money to make his money right, guess what? Our money going to be circulated too. So get it in, Trump. I ain't mad at you. So yes, again, I think he gonna circulate that money, clean that money up, and it's gonna work out for all of us. I think if Camilla wins, I think we gonna be broke again with nothing. They gonna give all the money to the immigrants. They gonna give all the money to them people overseas while we still have the veterans over here homeless, nowhere to go, no food, no nothing. Y'all come downtown LA. Those people are homeless with nowhere to go. But yet and still they bring them people over here from overseas, house them, feed them, free
Yo, wait, break that
Airbnbs,
down
food.
because I don't think
Excuse
people
me.
realize in California, black women and children are the leading in eviction rates, and then Mike in California, while
Oh
migrants is
no,
coming over here.
Lou. Excuse me. You have a regular people that work 9 to 5s that's homeless with kids staying in tents. Y'all need to come down here to Los Angeles, California, and check out downtown. It look like New Jack City. You got kids 4, 5, and 6 years old. Yes, living in tents with their moms that have normal jobs like me. This is
Imagine if
real.
those kids got
This is
reparations
what
from a
a
person
baby.
like
Nichelle,
Jill
how
They
did you
Stein.
not.
make money? Like,
Excuse
what do you
me.
mean by
There.
you made
Excuse
money
me.
though?
Excuse me.
Hold
You
on,
won't
hold
see
on,
you.
Hold on,
hold on, hold
Supreme.
on,
Hold on.
hold
I'm
on.
next.
Let her land, bros.
You will not see a reparation until the day you die on this earth. Camilla made that very clear. She said she is not doing reparations for black people. You need to go see the interview that she did. Oh, not just for black people. She said that. So come on, y'all, get it together. If y'all keep banking on that, you're not gonna get it. So stop
Well,
begging.
Jill Stein says
Excuse
differently,
me,
and she's
excuse
on
me,
the ballot.
excuse
I just
me,
Hold
wanted to
on,
throw that in there.
hold on. Hey,
excuse
listen,
me.
listen. The room been going good. We don't have a lot of interruptions. It's early. So y'all shouldn't be crashing right now. Let's just have a back and
I
forth.
just want y'all
Let her get
just
her
So
full thought
I'm
out
gonna
first.
respond.
I
Anybody
just
come off your
want
mic, you
you
get shot.
I just
So let
want
me
you
go after her,
guys,
brother.
excuse me. I
I'm
just
the
want you
shooter,
guys,
by the way.
excuse
Yes, yes,
me.
yes. Maya's here. Thank God.
I
My
just
day one
want
shooter. Yes,
you
she's a day one and she would blast your stupid ass.
I just want you guys to stop begging. I want you guys to stop hoping. I want you guys to stop wondering what a motherfucker gonna give us and get your ass out there and do your own shit. And I'm gonna stand on that. Anyway, like I was saying, it's kids, yeah, that's living on Skid Row downtown in LA till this day. I literally work 3 blocks from here and I see it. So I mean, come on now. They come over here free Airbnbs, okay, in Orange County, in Santa Ana, in Upland, gave them food stamps, gave them money, housed them. What about here? They came here, no social, no green card, no nothing, just got on a plane and came. And they're living better than the goddamn American people that have 9 to 5s. And y'all don't have a problem with that? Y'all don't have a problem with the veterans that have fought that white man's war that's sitting outside right now homeless and don't got nothing to eat? Y'all okay with that? What about the American people? How about let's start here first, okay? Let's get our trees, our circles planted and seeded first before we help a motherfucker out from goddamn who knows where, okay? And come here and can get what the own American people that can't get that work hard. I know a lot of y'all work hard. We all trying to survive. Why can't the American people get the help first? That is all I'm saying, guys. And Camilla is not going to do that. I'm sorry. Y'all got it.
All right, real quick. Put a gun emoji in the chat if y'all agree with her. Put a brain emoji in the chat if y'all disagree. All right, who on
Can I
stage
Can
ask a
I
is
get in
first?
there
question?
behind her? Because we was
This is
having a
Supreme.
somewhat of
I'll
a back and
respond, but
forth.
I
All right,
think
let
you're
Ish.
doing
All right, Ish. You
far.
disagree
Yeah,
or do
real.
you?
But I mean,
I'm trying
why
to
is it?
understand what you mean. People taking each other's houses. What does this mean? Are you saying that
Yes,
our communities are expanding in Judea and Samaria? The answer to
What
that
is
is
Judea and
yes.
Samaria?
The answer to
Explain.
that is yes.
yes,
Hang on.
but
So,
normal,
but
you know,
let me
why?
give a complete thought. Let me give a complete thought. Here's the story. That area is disputed by an
Tell me how can it
hour.
vary?
Okay, I don't know why this guy. Didn't we say that he wasn't going to do this? This to
Yes,
us,
yes,
this
one
area
on
is
one.
disputed. When we occupied it, it was Jordan, and that was a legitimate military occupation because Jordan attacked. Now, Jordan doesn't want it back. That doesn't mean that it's Palestine. It means it's something. We're not sure what. So until we have a peace deal with Palestine in place that they respect, we are going to continue to build our communities there. And I hope to be a part of that. I think every Jew should be a part of it. If they want peace, then you have another, that's a different question entirely. But if you
Well,
want
Okay,
war,
Daniel
but
then we're just,
will
normal.
live long enough to see
yes,
that, Norma.
yes.
Hopefully, your
Well,
grandchildren will.
Huh?
You're
hang
at the
on,
end of your
sorry.
term,
I'm
by
One
actually,
the
one
way.
mic, son.
I'm
Guys,
talking
Guys,
to
one
real
on one.
people.
Wait,
How do
wait.
Hang
you
on,
Hold
kick
on.
hang on. One
Soren
at a
out
time.
of
One at a
here?
time.
Put
Okay,
Soren in
I'll take
audience.
over. All right, wait, Selena. I'll take
I'm
over
talking
now.
seriously and honestly. I think you know
Yes,
that.
El Normo. Now, if we can just have a one
Yeah.
on one, like very,
Yeah, yeah.
like, I just want to
No
ask,
problem.
like, sincerely. I don't understand, like, okay, you know, shit is happening in Palestine. You know,
What does that
okay,
mean?
something. Like, and then I'll ask you. Because once we have you and everybody.
Let it tell it now, my fellow Montreal. I'm not sure. One thing he said is going to be rattling out.
Yes.
This one's for you, Christina, whoever you are.
Next, a Russian Yiddish folk song. Very popular, very well known. Tumbala Laika is the name of this tune. How many people here know Tumbala Laika? Okay, that's maybe half. Let's teach it to the half here who do not know it. Tumbalalaika means play balalaika. Spiel balalaika, the same thing, play balalaika. Vreloch soll sein. Let's be happy. If you know it, please, seid das Git, sing with me, and we'll teach it to those who don't know it. Tumbala, 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 again. Tumbala, 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 again. Tumbala,
Oh my gosh. And the world can't see it because of these crazy mullahs that are oppressing their own people. Who do you think sanctioned Iran? Who do you think sanctioned Iran? Wait, Mohammed. Let you speak. And Norma, yes, go on. Wait, Mohammed, please. And Norma, yes, go on. And my question was like, these two countries have hate like against each other. Why? And what is the source? What is the story about the government? The government. Look, we didn't start with Iran. We the Israeli people, we were doing fine with Iran. It's the mullahs that first they gave a false revolution, saying that they were for the people. Then they immediately killed all the people that made their revolution, their students, their dissidents, any alternative people, anybody that did not follow Sharia. And then they pointed to Israel, as many nations do, with a sick anti-Semitic obsession. You've seen some of it even on this app or even on this stage. And they use this to distract from their own stealing the food out of their people's mouths. They're sponsoring terror, like the Houthis and Hamas and Hezbollah, instead of feeding their people. Right? No, I understand. I understand your point. Okay, what can you prove? What is your, like, how can you back up the things you're saying? Because as I'm seeing, like, if we can compare or with our, how we see people doing in the country. I mean, maybe you've seen something, maybe I've seen something else. Change the title if you want to speak with the Israeli guy on the show. He is not Israeli. He's an American citizen. Maybe you're. When you say what Israel, he's not Israeli. Guys, we don't need to say 7 years old guy. Guys, we don't need to expose each other, say where we live. I mean, come on, guys, we're better than this. And the thing is, I'm asking Nuren, and after I asked him, Soren or Mohammed, if you guys want to speak, feel free to speak. I want to speak on Israel and Iran. Change the title of the room. Don't speak on don't put the Lebanon flags. No, but Mohammed, the thing is, these countries, it's all linked up. I mean, if you look at a tree, there's a root behind all trees or bushes or whatever, yeah, or flowers. So there's a root, and like all the roots, it comes, and it will come to a conclusion in the end. It's all linked. Yeah, but I get back to what you said, Abel, literally, 7th of October, there were many people on this app, I said that before, I have to say it again, that it's Iran's attempt to sabotage the normalization relationship between Iran and Saudi Arabia. And now Netanyahu is not going to recognize Palestinian state. No other leader in Israel is going to recognize a Palestinian state. And guess what? MBS of Saudi Arabia 2 days ago literally says we are not going to normalize relationship with Israel unless there is no Palestinian state to recognize. No, the objective has already been attained. Guys, one on one, come on. In the first verse, we find a boy, and he's standing on the street, and he's watching all the girls go by. And he's Hi, Angela. Young girls will be his own true love. Euch steht der Buch und Trost, Trost und Trost, der ganze Nacht. Wenn zu nehmen und nicht waschen, wenn zu nehmen und nicht waschen. The Bucher picks out one special maiden, and he asks that girl, he says, I have a riddle for you. Maiden, what can grow without the rain? And what can burn forever and never stop burning? One clearly legal, right? The channels that the Haitians are here under are legal, but they still
Yeah, but
call
that
them
doesn't make it right.
them illegal.
Doesn't make it right. but they
There's a
still
difference
call them
between there's a
illegal.
difference
But they
between
just, but their argument initially
legality
that
and ethically
Sasha,
correct.
Sasha, that's a Mott and Bailey, because their argument was we're initially
That's
their
not Mott and
rhetorical.
Bailey. That's just
No,
my
no, no,
opinion.
Sasha. Well, their rhetorical argument was we are fine with legal immigrants. The issue we
Yeah.
have is with illegals, and then you have them demagoguing a group of legal immigrants and calling them
Yep.
illegals when they're
Okay.
clearly not illegal.
But what happens when the judicial system is corrupted, like in the back end, like it's somehow deviously corrupted, so the laws are changed?
What does that
Does
mean?
that because I'm a philosopher, okay? I think about things ethically. Uh, uh, so technically you're right. You know, you're very good at our argumentation. Technically you're right. I'm not going to say that you're not right. You're a lovely sophist. But maybe the disconnect that people, you know, if you have disagreements with people like me, it might be because we're looking at things from a different perspective. I'm more about ethics and values and what I believe would be good for everything. And maybe what you're arguing about is more about the legality. Like maybe you're more a lawyer than I am, and that's
That was
fine.
their argument. I'm just
I
giving you
just
what their
want to
argument
point
was.
that out. You know, I
Their
don't think we're
argument was,
disagreeing here.
but the conservative argument was we are just against illegal immigration. I mean, this is what they said, right? But again, during the Trump administration, they were looking for means to cut legal immigration, not just illegals, right? So I'm not arguing. So
Okay.
and when you
Okay.
have the conversation, they always want to pivot back to illegal immigration. And I'm trying to have a conversation
So
about the
they're
legal immigration because if you're talking about like
you're interesting
jobs and
chap.
shit, the legal immigration is all that
No,
matters, right? Because most of these
no,
jobs,
you're interesting.
illegal
You're
immigrants are not,
I get
they
it.
cannot do them. They're
I get
illegal.
it.
They cannot do
I
them.
get
this
it.
is okay. So this is
What you're pointing out is a logical inconsistency within, I guess, if you could broadly categorize it as right-leaning people. I'm assuming you're left-leaning, and I'm complimenting you here. Please take it as a compliment. It's very, very nice because I usually don't see um, the people, if they're on the left, accepting the argument that you know, the logical inconsistency. They're not bringing that up. That's people that are pushed to the right are mostly like, hey, that's logically inconsistent. Um, Anyways, I'll be quiet and let other people talk.
So the big thing here is, right, that they'll say things like, well, you know, illegal immigrants don't contribute, right? They don't make that much money and they're a burden to society. And we should switch to high skilled immigration. This is the argument. And then Trump put forward a bill that would shift the burden of immigration towards high skilled immigration, but then he cut the total number of immigrants who would be allowed into the United States, which, if you're switching to skill sets that America doesn't have, shouldn't you increase the total number of immigrants, because this is money, right? These are people who are going to come in, they're going to get jobs, right? They're going to get high paying jobs. It doesn't make any, like, just like if your concern is their ability to support themselves, it doesn't make sense to cut the total number of immigrants that you bring to the United States if you are shifting to high skilled immigration. You should probably like double the number of immigrants you're bringing to the United States, right? Because it's just people
High
who can like
skilled.
hit the
So you
ground,
pivoted there.
yeah,
You
who
pivoted
can
there.
just hit the ground running. But that's not what they did.
Then my dad was a high skilled immigrant, and that's why I'm here. That's good.
But we need low skilled immigrants as well too. Again, we have a lot of jobs in the United States that
You don't think that there's
our
any
society runs
displacement
on.
though? The common thing that they say on the right, Trump says it a lot, is they're taking the jobs from the Hispanics and the blacks. At face value, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But what's the deeper
I mean,
analysis there?
it's
Am
pretty
I?
clear that the Hispanics and the blacks don't feel this way because they don't vote for Trump. Not
So
the
the
majority of
if you
them.
look at the
It's
last
changing, kind
if
of.
you look at the last
It
jobs
is not
data
changing. Not
numbers,
for black people.
there was a negative reduction in American citizens um, who lost jobs, and there was an increase in immigrants who gained jobs. So that's It's the jobs data. You can look at it.
The
Wait, say
the
that
problem
again.
I,
is,
I,
yeah, real quick, because the problem
yeah.
is that when you look at illegal immigration, sorry, or asylum or people who are refugees, they were supposed to come from countries that are persecuted, right? Or like for example, the Ukrainian refugees. I remember when the Syrian refugees came, but now that's not the case. They're not bringing in people like that are running from persecution. Like their countries are okay. So that's the problem. It's like unless you're in a country that has active war, like Ukraine, Syria, so on. But like if you have, for example, Indian students who are coming in through a school visa, that's not supposed to be a route to get citizenship. That means you get your education and then you go back. That's
But
ideally how it works.
that's
Yeah.
that's not a good system to have them go back after you've invested money in their
So I
education. So
just
that's
looked
a
up
system.
the
No,
jobs
I know,
report
but
from.
I'm just saying but the law I'm saying, Taga, is that they come here for the education and then they go back. If they want to
Yeah,
extend it and then let them stay, then fine, but then they need to prepare for that. They should have had housing and so on to prepare for that many people. That's
yeah.
all
But
we're
my
saying.
my my, my simple point is
I
that
like the
like
Indian students.
the MAGA movement is not simply an anti-illegal immigrant movement. It is an anti-immigration period movement.
Okay, so I'll give you
Oh,
the
that's a
numbers.
bold assertion there. Come on. You can't
So
smuggle that in. You
the numbers
cannot
I was
smuggle that in. I'm not going to allow that.
okay, really quick. So the numbers I was referring to was the August jobs report. Native-born Americans lost 1.3 million jobs. Foreign-born workers gained 1.2 million jobs. So there is definitely
You would need
a
to
trend. There's
control
definitely
for the aging
trends.
population of the United States. So a lot of these people are retirees, right? Because we have to remember um, the modal age for a white person in the United States is 58 years old, right? A lot of these people are just retiring. They're just old. They're not like unemployed and of working age and not having jobs. That's not what's happening. It's people leaving the workforce because they've aged out of the workforce.
I have to disagree with that.
Doug, I was with you like for most of it, but when you just said that the MAGA movement is intrinsically anti-immigration, or sorry, I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember the words you used. I can't I I I I I I I can't sign off on that. I that's wrong. I mean, I'm
How do
not
you
like,
argue that? I mean, they wanted to lower the total numbers of immigrants,
but you
legal
can't
immigrants.
like it's you're just typecasting. You're typecasting 150 million people.
There's not 150 million people who are MAGA supporters. Not even
Well,
close.
whatever. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Whatever. 100 million people. They're
Not even
half,
close.
half the nation.
Not even
60,
close.
60. Give me
Six
60.
of yeah, somewhere around there.
You can't. They're not all the
60,
same.
70.
It's like I can't. I
This is
can't
the
let you get
policy
away with that.
proposals. This is the policy proposals of the MAGA movement, right? This is what they put
Yeah,
forward.
but okay. So are you talking from an administrative standpoint? You're
This is
not
what they put
talking about
forward.
the people.
They got they got who's
Can
that
you can
Nazi
you
dude?
grant me that?
Well, I was
It's
always
maybe top down. It's not bottom up.
I mean, one important point about Trumpism is that Trumpism is popular in places that don't have immigrants. It is not popular in places with large numbers of immigrants. Now, if the immigrants were such a problem, we would expect the inverse of that, where MAGA would be most popular amongst the people who live around the immigrants, because they would see it firsthand and not like it, not the places that have very few immigrants in them.
MAG is a set of values, and it does not include uh, disregard for people entering your country.
MAGA
Like
has no values.
it, it, it sorry,
It's a
son.
nothing party.
Sasha, why do you think that the MAGA stuff is most popular in places that don't have the immigrants? Why is it not popular in the major cities of the United States where all the immigrants are? Wouldn't the citizens there, if the immigrants were so bad, wouldn't the citizens there be the
Because
first
there's a
ones
lack
to
of
be like, we don't like it?
essentially because there's a lack of God in cities.
What?
Essentially,
No, no.
it's going to take so long to unpack, and I just had to throw it out there.
Sasha,
Uh,
most Hispanics and Black people are Christian in the United States, and they live in
That is
cities,
a fact.
and they're
there's a
more Christian,
meaning there's a meaning
They're
crisis.
Christian.
more
There's a
Christian
They're
than
lack
the
of
more Christian
thought.
than
Americans.
white people in the United States. Like
That's right.
they self-identify as going to church more often than white people.
Cities are corrosive. That probably explains it.
The
But
MAGA
Sasha,
movement is
Sasha, your
nothing
argument is.
more. The
Oh,
MAGA
sorry.
movement is nothing more than just being anti-left. That's the entire movement of MAGA. That's it.
No, it's pro-truth.
Sasha,
Bro,
how can you
what
argue?
does that mean?
Sasha, how can you argue that like there's a lack of Christianity when when the most like religious part of our country, the most religious populations are in this order, Black and Hispanic people, in terms of like identifying how often a month they go to church?
They're
Those are the like two
they're
groups that
because
go to church the most.
they're probably seeking an
And
economic
what about the Jews?
opportunity.
Wait, what? I
Right,
just
but
want to know. I just want to go down this train of thought with like their pro-truth. This like the pro-truth statement. What does that mean exactly?
it's completely nonsensical, Simon. But you're right that they no, but hold on, like, because MAGA is
I'm gonna
kind of
mute
very
up.
against the
Sorry.
left, right? Real quick, because MAGA is against the left, and they created that kind of party. But the Republican Party had to adapt to, or else it's going to be, behind. Like it's, they don't want. You see what I'm saying? The youth of America are left, well, tend to be more left, right? So, MAGA was a way to kind of like what do you call it, modernize the Republican Party, because before that it was just a bunch of neocons and conservative people that are like religious. Trump's not that. You see what I'm saying? And hold on, Simon, don't you think it worked in a way? It kind of made
No.
the
The
Republicans
Republican Party, the
popular.
Conservative Party, is a nothing party that stands for absolutely nothing but just anti-left nonsense. That's it.
Okay,
That's essentially
How
the
right.
how
party.
can you
So
say
do you want a
that?
one party
That's
system
a
then?
lot of
Okay,
Wait, wait.
people.
what are the principles of
That's
the
a lot
party?
of people.
What
Hold
are the
on.
principles of the party?
Okay, but Simon, if you're saying that, then you're only left basically with the Democrats. People don't want a one party system, right? So um I know there's other whatever.
Okay,
I'm not.
but
Well,
give
you'll
me the
have to name the
principles of the
follow. Yeah,
party.
he's asking. He's asking a very good
Yeah.
question.
No, no. I actually agree with some of the stuff you said about the Republican Party. But my thing is
What are
that
their
that.
principles?
But Thugger, one moment. My point is that there are people who will not vote for Democrats in the country. What do you do with them? Who do they vote for?
Again, that's not. This is the thing.
One of their
That's
principles
not
is
up to the left.
responsibility.
That's not up to the left. That's up to the right to figure out. If you want a person in charge, figure out what your values are. But the
Exactly.
right, as it stands today, stands for nothing. Nothing.
No, I think.
Okay, so
But
give
Simon,
me the principles
I'll
then.
give you
That's
an
why I'm
example.
asking. Okay,
With
give me
MAGA,
no, no, no. Don't give me an example.
It's
Give me the principles of
I
anti-institution.
the
can't
party.
hear. Okay.
It's anti-institution. So the corruption, the rot that is affecting our society,
What institution? What
which is
institution?
which
It
is
doesn't
linked
mean
with
anything.
the meaning
What
and the
what
God crisis.
institution?
The institutions,
What does that mean? What
the
institutions? Be more a little more
universities,
specific.
capitalism to a
The
large degree,
so
although
you're
it's
saying
great.
the right is anti-capitalism.
No, the opposite. They're
You can
pro-capitalist.
caricature, you can cut me off and caricature what I
I'm trying
wanted to
to I'm
say.
trying to
You know
I'm
what,
trying to clarify
Simon?
your position.
Why don't you just expound on what my position is? I'll mic up, because
Uh,
you know
you
what,
don't
Okay,
have
can
to
I
mic
add,
up.
you're
Simon?
not being
I'm
a good
asking a
actor here.
clarifying.
Okay,
I'm asking a clarifying question.
so Trump pushes the America First, right? Which is
Hold on.
not
I just want to
intervening in
hear
foreign
him.
wars.
Hold on. I just want to hear Sasha. I
Don't
asked and
overtalk a
he's
lady.
explaining. Yeah, I'll do whatever I want. So, you were explaining. I asked you a clarifying question, okay? Because you're saying they're anti-establishment, they're anti-institution, and you're saying
The
the
rot.
universities
I use
and
the word the
capitalism.
rot.
Yeah, the rot, and then you
Yeah.
said the universities and capitalism. So my question to you
Yes.
was, are you saying that the right is anti-capitalism? That's the only. I didn't interrupt you. I'm
No,
just asking
you're
you a clarifying question.
no. You are deliberately mischaracterizing the nuance of what I was trying to present, Simon.
No, I'm asking you a clarify again.
The answer
To
is
clarify your position is I'm
no.
not saying this is what you believe. I'm asking
Let's
you
move on. The
what
answer
did
is
you
no.
mean when you said that? Okay, that's it. Then we're good. So continue.
Okay, so Simon, is it okay if I
Go
name
ahead.
some of the things? Yeah. So he's anti. He wants NATO to pay more money. In terms of basically he's against intervention in wars. That's kind of what Trump was pushing. Then he had the whole control the border. Remember that was his original run, build the wall, right? So that was like his 2000 and his first time running. That was what he was pushing, right? Um, that's I would say those are the two main things that I think people liked him for and that he was pushing. What do you, which is opposite of what Bush was doing, which was go to Iraq, go to these wars. So what do you think about that?
I am totally against the idea of intervening in other countries. I believe America has not had a rational foreign policy in a extremely long time, and because of that, the amount of trillions of dollars that go basically in nonsensical places is just wrong.
Okay, but what about the defense? What about the other countries that
Well, how is
America is
America being
allies
in
with?
different countries' defense?
Well, okay, so okay, when it comes to like the Middle East, right, and America supporting Israel, for example, you don't think that is valuable, even though America was in the war on terror?
Well, in principle, I'm opposed to foreign aid. I think if people want to help Israel, you can just if you want to individually help Israel, go crazy. But yeah, I mean, as it currently stands, yeah, you can give money to Israel.
No, not just money. They're like in general, they're fighting countries that America was also involved in conflict with, right? So Syria, Iraq, those countries. Well, Iraq's not fighting Israel, but you get my point. So if this war escalates, you don't think America should support Israel, an ally? You don't believe in allies or any of that sort?
Yeah, what does being an ally have to do with giving you money?
That's well. How does wars happen if
I'm
there's no funding?
I'm confused, Simon. Dude,
Yeah,
are you trolling us?
What did I say that's
Simon.
trolling?
Yeah, I was. Simon, are you trolling
So
us?
you're
Like,
saying a country can't be friendly with another country unless we give you money.
No, just allies we're talking about, the ones in
Okay,
NATO. And
so I don't want NATO.
do you think?
okay,
I don't want a UN. I don't want to be in NATO. I don't want any of these nonsense organizations.
Okay, let me do the dad thing here. I apologize. I know it's fucking boring. It's the only way that I look at things. Uh, my kids will fucking do the nastiest shit possible when they're allowed to. You don't think that child psychology is is directly transposable on adult psychology and psychology of nations. There people are gonna do nasty shit. You need the fucking police, dude.
What?
So
Who's not advocating for police? What are you talking about?
you're not
When did I say
advocating
that?
for it.
When did I say that?
What you basically just said that America does not need to fund any nations when they're doing their protectorate job.
What? What are you talking about? So America is the
That's what I
designated
heard.
police of
I
the world? What are you
apologize,
talking
Simon.
about?
I don't mean to misrepresent you.
Okay.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
So
that's well. I mean, I
I could
never
be
said.
wrong.
no
Let's
one,
not. I
Okay.
Simon,
never said.
America was not the police of the world. Most of the wars that America took part in, multiple other countries were supporting and funding as well. Do you think that they went into those countries alone? There were like, Canada, Australia, UK, multiple different countries were involved in Russia, even with well, in Syria. So it's never just been America. So I don't know why you are saying that. But hold on, right? So if let's say America were to be attacked, you wouldn't want any other country to um or your allies or NATO to support America?
I mean, it depends the context of the war. But if I mean, like, who helped America when it came to like 9/11 or like Pearl
I
Harbor. I
just
mean,
told
like
you many. What do you mean Pearl Harbor was World War II? What do you mean? The whole
yeah, but
Allies
my
were on America's side.
my okay, being an ally, I don't know. Okay, hold on. Let's just get these concepts correct. If country X attacks America, okay, you have every moral obligation to your citizens to go in and destroy your enemy as quickly as you can. That's it. That's the moral obligation. Whoever wants to help, like whoever you don't have to put your own citizens or soldiers at risk to help a capable country. Now, if like to me again, I'm not saying America has to go in just because you're an ally. I mean, I don't even know what that would mean to like risk American soldiers in the protection of like another country if they're getting attacked. I don't know why that would be in the interest of that government.
It's just part of defense, Simon. That's what countries do.
But again, I ask this question all the time, but it's the most fundamental question when it comes to politics. What is the proper role of government? And I hope we can all agree that it's the protection of individual rights. Now, in
And
that
defense,
role, yeah,
military defense is part of it.
the protection of individual rights is military defense. But how does that equate to the protection of individual rights of other people in another nation?
Because those countries would also support you in a conflict as well. That's what allies are. That's what it's always been
Fine,
since the beginning of
but
time.
what kind of support though? Are you putting active men in danger for the people in another country? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, because those same enemies pose a threat to your nation as well.
Do you
Yes.
mean like
Yeah.
the billions of dollars we give to Pakistan, they're eventually going to come and fight for us? Don't think so.
No, no, we're not talking about Pakistan. We
Yeah.
specifically talk about the NATO countries.
The NATO countries can fund themselves. I don't know why America has to be in there.
Yeah. Also, like we don't if we don't fund NATO,
Yeah, fuck
you think
NATO.
Germany is not going to be on our side? Of course they are.
Fuck NATO.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I just
You
don't
guys are
I don't understand.
funny as well.
I don't know why you're equating giving money to being an ally. Like an ally, you can support arms, you can support like technology, you can whatever it might be. But when it comes to like boots on the ground for another nation, like how is that protecting? How is that in the interest of your own government to sacrifice
Oh, right.
your soldiers for the sake of other people? For
Right. No,
like to
I
me that
agree.
makes no sense.
No, that I agree. There's other ways to do it. You can basically they're doing this now, but a lot of the embassies, military bases, they're training actually the people, the local people, for them to fight
Oh, hold on,
whoever it
I'm
is
getting a
that's
call.
no worries.
Oh my god, Simon
Mm,
killed the room with objectivism again.
no, the room just kind of died down, but hopefully it'll go up again. Um,
Organically.
I'd say Thugga killed the room.
Well, he's a room killer, I know. You're a room rapist, Saga. No, Saga has been actually very enjoyable. I think that when he and Goat are not together, they can be quite enjoyable.
oh, Goat is hilarious. Yeah, Goat is funny as hell. I love his left ideas, but yeah. Thugga too. But yeah, them together can be too much.
I didn't kill the room. I just have I have like pretty
You sound
standard.
muffled, Saga. You need to get your
Oh,
phone out
sorry.
of your ass.
I have pretty standard majoritarian ideas in the United States. Like most people agree with the sorts of things that I want to do. So
Yeah, but I remember that you and I fought a lot at the beginning. What was it about?
that's because I didn't realize you were attractive.
Yeah, you called me a bimbo, I remember. Like, yeah, Isa is a bimbo and she thinks that she's intelligent. Yeah, I remember our fight, Saga. I remember.
But the immigration thing is a big one. The UK has greatly damaged their economy because of Brexit. Like it's the biggest, and if you notice, they don't talk about it anymore, right?
Well, I
So
think
the
actually that the UK is doing much better now that they have
no
exited the European Union.
five
Are
percent
you
of GDP lost.
are you still in the UK, Isa?
No, no, no. I'm in Switzerland, but I was
Oh,
for Brexit. Yeah.
Brexit is the best
They've
thing that ever happened to the UK.
wait. So
they've
hold on,
lost.
guys. Thugga, you know what the rumor is that Farage, who was pushing Brexit, that he was apparently a Putin sympathizer. So all of that was, all the stuff they're saying about Trump in America, they were saying back there in the UK, and that he did it on purpose. He was a Putin
So
sympathizer.
so I mean the GDP of the UK has shrunken 5% from where it would have been had they not exited the common market. And with 5% loss year on year, 15 years, your economy is 50% smaller than it would have otherwise been. It's a massive loss of
Well, but I
productivity.
think it's a recovery curve, you know? I mean, like they just completely Brexited a couple of years ago. It was I mean, but I think that the pound is doing much better, and their expenses are also much better. I don't know. We'll have to give them a few more years. But
I would put my money on the economy is still shrinking. In a couple of years, I mean,
but I,
they have like trade barriers with their largest trade partner. They've got trade barriers on their islands, right, between Northern Ireland and Ireland, right? So that's crazy.
well, I think that one of the things that hurt Britain the most was the uncontrolled immigration that Angela Merkel supported, and that had an indefinite influx, you know, of people into the
And now
UK.
Germany's pulling back from that.
Yeah, exactly. And
It
just
would
just
Germany
one
doing?
comment, Samia, of what you said about the movement of Trump and the movement of Brexit. So the strategist that was behind let's say, the communication campaigns of both, uh, was my professor in Georgetown University for the module of geopolitics of my MBA, Jerry Gunster. Yeah,
Oh wow.
he was
What,
really
what?
cool.
Sorry. What did he say? What was his
Huh?
ideas? What is it
Jerry
that?
Gunster.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, I did when I was doing my MBA, I did a module in Georgetown University in Washington, and yeah, my one of my professors in geopolitics, that was that module about, was the strategist, the campaign strategist behind both campaigns.
so the big
Oh.
thing here is during the 2016 campaign cycle, the Republicans were big on Brexit. Brexit had happened before our election. They talked about it all the time. Now that Brexit is over, they don't ever circle back and say, how did that thing turn out? How are they doing? Right? It's because it's a shit show. And most of the population regrets doing Brexit. It's very clear from the loss that the conservatives just, like, they got
I'm
smashed.
not really sure that they are. I mean, change is difficult, and when you go from one place, like being inside of the European Union that has been pushed by so many people throughout so many years, and all of a sudden you find yourself out, there takes some time to adapt to that. But I don't think that we have been able to see the benefits of it. But I can tell you that, I mean, I am completely against the European Union bloc, you know, because these are unelected people that are making decisions for all of the countries, and they're the ones setting the rules. And I think that it undermines the sovereignty of the countries.
That's
You
right.
know,
Again,
it's
That's
a
right.
again,
form.
it wasn't sold as like there were trade-offs. It was sold as like they would be better off if they did Brexit, and they're clearly economically worse off. Like it's
Well, but that's what I'm
unquestionable.
saying. It's a transition right now.
But that wasn't how it was sold. It was sold as like we're going to exit and we're going to be Singapore on the Thames.
Yeah, but
So they
everyone does that
lied.
in politics.
Can I ask you a question? Ethan Thugger, right?
I mean,
Like,
Kamala also has lied many
yeah,
times.
Yeah.
About
yeah.
what?
With
What has
Brexit,
she lied
wasn't it?
about?
One moment, wasn't Brexit about wasn't it really aimed at European people coming into England and working there? Was that the problem that they faced?
No, it was immigration. It was the NHS having so much expenses. It was the paying taxes to European Union. It was a lot of
Also, yeah,
shit.
also laws being passed in Brussels, which
The NHS was
Correct.
the people
worse.
of England had no vote
No
over.
say. No.
The
Right.
NHS, the NHS was driven into the ground by conservatives. The wait times in the NHS skyrocketed under Tory control.
Well,
right?
Uh,
because the
So
Tories have been in power for a
That's
long
because they
time,
have a
but the
big backlog from COVID operations. That's why.
they
no, but it's
they
not only COVID. It was also very bad before COVID. That's when I was living in the
yes,
UK. And but the Tories have been in power for a long, long time, and they
fucking
have
things up as they
absorbed.
go.
Hold on, they have absorbed all the immigration influx that was like the mass immigration that came into Europe through Angela Merkel. And so now that they're out of the European Union, they could start building again. But the thing is that they have absorbed this amount of people that are currently living and sucking from the system, because there is, I mean, not everyone is employed and not everyone is contributing, and the NHS
That's
is
right.
out of capacity.
Yeah, the thing is, the Isa, with the UK, correct me if I'm wrong, they have a two-tier system, right? You can do public and do private, right? Their system.
No, it's not a two-tier system. You have public, which is for everyone,
Yeah.
but people like me that didn't trust the NHS because there were long waiting times and the
Mhm.
hospitals were dirty and whatever, I would pay additionally for my private insurance. So I was paying
Right.
double.
Yeah, because Isa, in Canada, we don't even have that. They're starting to try to put that in now and give like people the option to pay, but like I I had a back surgery. I couldn't walk, right? So like it took me months to get an MRI, and that's what made me like disabled. I had to relearn how to walk, right? So because we don't have a two-tier system. I can't pay for, you know what I mean, like a faster thing. So a lot of Canadians, they go to America. That's what they do.
I think it's very clear that from the UK example and the United States, governance under conservatives, Anglo-American conservatives, that's what I'm speaking of specifically, is bad. They're really, really bad at governing. And Anglo-American conservatives are connected, right? They 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 share an ideological heritage. They interact with each other. I mean, like you said, Issa, the people who like work on the campaigns in the United States go over to the UK and work for the Tories. It's the same. They're like ideologically cousins, right? And they're really, really bad at governance. Really bad at it.
But I'm not sure what are you basing your. I mean, it's okay if you think that, but I'm just confused. Like I don't know where you're coming from.
I'm basing that off of the unemployment rates that we have in the United States. When we have conservatives in office, we have like every conservative has a recession in their term.
And how do
Democrats
you
don't
think
typically
that the
have
left is
recessions.
going to help this?
Democrats have better economic performance than conservatives do when they're in office.
Really increasing
Yes,
taxes,
yeah,
increasing
they
income.
yes yes
The
Well,
historically
that doesn't
the best
incentivize
economies have
private
been under
investment.
Democrats.
correct
The
correct.
best
The
economies
best
have been under
economies are the Democrats.
Democrats,
Correct.
but it's always with a Republican
Stop.
in the House.
The Republicans, when they're in office, they cut taxes for rich people, spend like drunken sailors, drive up the deficit, and then when they get out of office, they cry about how high the deficit is. When they're in office, they don't do anything but spend money, spend,
That's
right?
right.
So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, conservatives are not.
Really? Do you think that
yes,
the left spends less than the right?
yes, Trump spent. I can pull up the
For
numbers.
fuck's
Trump
sake,
spent.
Sugar,
Trump when you
how does
listen,
that
Isa,
even make sense, dude?
When you let's exclude COVID spending, right?
No, no, no.
Trump
Forget
spent
about COVID.
no,
COVID,
I'm saying that
we delete
I'm
it.
gonna give you the direct comparison. Trump in his 4 years, excluding the COVID money from him and Joe Biden, Trump spent twice as much as Joe Biden.
Okay, hold on.
You can do Bush
Because
as well, by the way.
we cannot just throw that statement there and
No, he's
I'm gonna
avoid.
put
correct.
it in chat.
Hold on, Simon, and avoid all nuance, because there were military spending, there was infrastructure spending, and a lot of other shit. Now, just using our own common sense without, let's forget about the numbers. Let's just go to the theory here. How can you tell me that it makes sense that the left spends less than the right when the left wants to give everything to the citizens? They want to make school free. They want to make medicine free and healthcare. They want to give free housing. They want to get all the immigration, etc., etc. These
Issa, why,
things are,
Issa,
hold
why would
on,
we forget
just
about
hold
the
on.
numbers?
No, hold on. These things aren't, because forgetting about the numbers, it's just a matter of logic, you know. If I tell you, so if I tell you at an individual level, so I like to go every week and spend money on shoes, on clothes, on da, da, da. And on another scenario, I tell you that I just spend on rent and on housing and on rent and on food, then it doesn't matter if I give you the numbers or not. You will just know, just by presenting what my expenses are. You will assume and already determine that the person that goes out every weekend to buy shoes, to travel, to go to expensive dinners, etc., will have a higher expense. So it's the same case with the left. I mean, if I am telling you that the list of shit they spend the money on and the amount of taxes, the percentage of taxes they charge is higher, I mean, it just doesn't make sense to say that the left spends less than the right.
Well,
No, but
let's read the
that doesn't
numbers.
matter though. The numbers reflect something completely different though. That's the point. It doesn't
Simon,
matter how much. It doesn't matter
here's
how much
funny.
you say that you want to spend on those things and how much taxes you can bring in and all this stuff. If the numbers don't equate to your rhetoric, then the numbers is
Honey,
what you
I
have to
get
be
it,
basing your evidence on.
but we would need to understand what is it that Trump
I
caused
have the
for these
numbers. I have
expenses.
the numbers. So let
Yeah,
me
he
read them
posted them.
off.
But don't talk to me about the numbers. Talk to me about the list of
Let me
items.
let me.
Dude,
It's
listen, I'm
itemized.
a woman. Make it easy for me. I just want to
It's.
know the
I have it.
itemization.
I
I don't do numbers.
I just posted the itemized list of what he spent on. So
Okay,
we're
tell me.
going to exclude COVID because that's an external shock, and that we will just say that doesn't count for either of them because they both engaged in COVID spending. Doesn't count for either of them. Non-COVID spending under Trump, 4.8 trillion. Non-COVID spending under Joe Biden, 2.2 trillion. Right. And if you want to get into the actual itemized things that Trump spent. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, unpaid for, 1.9 trillion. His 2018 and 2019 budgets, 2.1 trillion. ACA tax delays and repeals, 539 billion. Health executive actions, 456 billion. Other legislation, 310 billion. The only thing that they increased revenues for the government on was the tariffs, so minus 443 billion. CARES Act, 1.9 trillion. Response. Hold on, am I reading the right thing? This the CARES Act is yeah, CARES Act, 1.9 trillion. Response Act, Response and Relief Act, 9.83 billion, and other COVID related relief is 7.56 billion. So Trump is a big spender.
Well, then
Inflation
maybe
Reduction
he
Act.
went for the high quality shit. I don't know what to tell
No,
you,
but
but
This is
the thing is
consistent.
that's not indicated in these types of charts is the rate of inflation for I mean when the Democrats are in power. So like you might spend less, but the rate of inflation is higher.
that's also true.
I mean, we've this is the first time we've had inflation in 40 years. So,
No,
and
but I
everywhere's
mean, not at exort like obviously not at like this to this extent,